In this video, we're going to focus on drawing a donut ring in the canvas, and this is part 19. So, if you're familiar with chartjs, you can draw donut rings where you basically have a circle or a ring, so where the inner part of the ring is non-visible, and that's what we're going to do now. And this one can be slightly tricky unless you understand how these arcs work. So what I'm going to do here now is we're going to draw some shapes, or at least we're going to draw these donut rings now. Let's start to explore how we can do it. Well, first of all, I do assume you know this and you understand arc. If you don't understand arc, I'm going to urge you to watch my other video about that. So what we're going to do now is let's start, and we say here ctx.begin path. So to start to draw, and then what I want to do now is I want to say here ctx dot. We're going to give it a line color, so we say stroke width, or sorry, stroke style, and let's get the color red. That is fine. Semicolon, and then here we want to have the line width, and the line width equals 3, sorry. So that's number 3, and now we can start doing the arc. So I'm going to say arc, and then here we're going to select our starting point, which is exactly here in the center, or somewhere here. So let's say if you want to go from there to from this point, we have to go maybe 350 pixels to the right, and then down 300 pixels we get somewhere here, I guess. I'm just estimating. So we're going to say here 350 as x, 300 as y. And now here we're going to work with the radius. In this case, the radius can be 100. We can just copy this. We make it 100 and then comma, and then you're going to say here the starting angle and the ending angle. And this later on will be an important part. But I'm going to do first simple. I'll say yeah, the angle will be 0. We want to have a full circle, so I'm going to say angle multiplied by 360. So we have started 0, and then we come back into the circle of 360. So once we have this, comma, and then we say here, do you want counterflow, yes or no? And we say no, false, no need. So once we did this, let's draw the item, put in the command of drawing these stroke lines, save that, refresh. There we are. So now we have this very nice circle here. What I want to do next is eventually calculate how we can make an inner circle that is slightly smaller than this. So to understand this, we must look as well at the line that is connecting it. So you can imagine here, you maybe need to have like 10 pixels from wherever the position is. And then in the, if in a normal donut chart, in chartjs, it's basically the northern point or the top would be the connecting line. However, if you look at this and you're familiar with the arc, we are now in 360, and 360 would mean here. This is 0 and 360, that's the right side. The bottom is 90, this is 180, and this one is 270. So that's basically it. And what we could do here, well, let me just show you. I'm going to show you later on a very easy way to do it, but I want to give you at least some understanding of how it's being drawn with the angles. So we're going to say a ctx, and then we're going to say a ctx, we say here line 2, and just imagine this, if we know we are from angle of this point here, we need to go basically, and we want to go 10 pixels, or maybe 20 pixels to the left side. What we need to do is then, we need to calculate this arc values from this point here. What you already know is that we have the arc, and this 350 is in the center here. We know the radius, which is this line here. Well, let me just show you. We can just draw this, then you will see it visually. So I'm going to just put in there, save that, refresh, there you are. So this is the radius. So we know here the radius is because of 100. That would mean that this point here is from 350 to plus radius would be 450, because radius is 100 pixels. So then we'd say here 450, if I do this, we should not see any more line. So if I want to do, let's say 10 pixels, all I want to do here is I want to deduct basically this, or to be very clear, 350 is starting point plus radius minus 10. If I save this, refresh, there we are. So now we have this beautiful circle here. So what I want to do next is, beautiful circle, we have this line here. What I would do next is, because this is it, but this is an issue. This would not make sense to start the line here. I want to rotate this up. Although we don't have to really rotate the shape, what we have to do is we have to just start at the other starting point. What is the starting point? As I indicated before, 270 would be up here. So what I want to make a full circle from 270 to 270. So that would mean if I would do here angle 270, and you might say, all right, we just need to do 270 here as well. If you save this, refresh, you can see here it doesn't move at all. It doesn't budge. And the reason why it doesn't budge or doesn't move is because, very simply, it doesn't recognize it as anything. So what we want to do here is, as a starting point is 270, because it already indicates that, well, we are on the same location, so no need to move anywhere. So what I want to do here is I make this 269.99 just to make this as close as possible. Almost pixel perfect. There we are. So now we have this. But of course, now this line draws it here. And if you say this is very complicated, don't worry, I'll show you later on. Very easy way to make a full circle here, or to make it nice. So we have this here. And then basically now, instead of here, we need to start here again, but we have to go to the top instead of going to the left or right. So that would mean I don't need to do this anymore. I'm going back to the center. So comma, save that, refresh. All right, there we are. And all I need to do is here, now the radius is up here. So now I need to just focus on the Y part going up. And that will mean here plus radius. So 300, or sorry, not plus, but minus, because we're going up. If we're going up, it's negative. So minus, and then plus 10 pixels. Save that. All right, and refresh, there you are. So now what we could do here, we can just copy this, semicolon, do this, and then here, I could basically maintain all of this. We don't have to change the starting point, but the radius needs to be adjusted. Why? The radius, instead of 100, we want to now make it a smaller circle. This is 10 pixels. 10 pixels will mean here 10 pixels, but also at the bottom 10 pixels. So that is 20 pixels that we need to deduct from the radius. So that's very important. So, so we're going to do the radius, and then here, basically we're going to say, well, or not even, sorry, not even 10 pixels. No, not 20 pixels, only 10 pixels, so we're going to deduct that. Radius is only 90. So once you do this, save, refresh, there you are. So the reason why 90 is simply because here's 10, and the radius is only half. It's not a diameter. So if it's diameter, then we need to deduct this twice. So that's why, with the radius. Alright, so now we have this here. But you might say, well, this is very complicated. This will take too much time. You're right. So here's the trick. I'm going to just close, remove that, save that, refresh. There you are. Works same as well. So what we could do here as a really final to make sure it is really close, we're going to say here after this, we will say here ctx.close path. Save. And there we are. This is it. So this is basically it, and that's how you can do this one. So that's one part, but I want to do another one because we're not done yet. This is the easiest one. So what about if you want to have a quarter or a segment of a donut ring? Think about a chart or donut chart where we have a segment all the time. Alright, so we have done this, and this was easy. Now we're going to do this one is slightly more tricky. So I'm going to comment this out. We don't need this anymore. I'm going to say here ctx.begin path, exactly the same. Then here we can color. And then the color will be again here, color red. And then here the CTX line width. There we are, equals 3. Alright. So now what we're going to do is just going to copy this. We're going to start again at the very top. We're going to start again as our starting point. And let's make sure that the lines are being drawn. So we're going to say here this. Save that. Refresh. Oh, sorry. Then we refresh. You can see here now it works. So let's put that back. Refresh. Alright. Put it back here. You can see here now we have this line. Beautiful. And then what we want here is the following. We want to have not really a full circle. Let's say we want to have, I don't know, we could have 25 degrees of 25%, so that would be 90. So we could say here the angle from this going to 360. Save that. Refresh. Alright. So now we have this. And what I want to do now is I want to basically have another line that will connect this. So what we can do here now is basically you will say, all right, I'll just copy this, put this in here, and now I know that radius would be deducting minus the 10 pixels. So we can say radius minus 10. And then if I save this and do this, refresh, we get a whole bunch of mess. All right. So what is really happening? Because we have this line here, and then this line goes here up and then here. Why this line here? Because it still sees as connected. The other side, when we had this line here, it connects it automatically for us because it assumes it. So let's put this back. Save that, refresh. Here, this was already automatically connected. It draws here and it was in the right position and goes down and here. So now we have something that is useful but is basically counterproductive for us. Or we're going to use it clever. So what we really need to do here is exactly the opposite thinking of what we just did. So if we start here and go there, the next line, this line will be connected. We want to connect it here. So what we need to do is basically we have to start here and then go back. Because what we really did was we said we start here, go here. Then here we start here and then go here again. So you probably understand that now. And that's why we have this line here that looking like almost like a watermelon. So what we want to do now is let's solve this. All we have to do is basically do exactly the opposite of what we just did. So our angle here is this, and then we have our angle here of this, and then what we're going to say is counterclockwise true. And if I do this, and then, oh, sorry, this needs to be 360, of course, and this one 270. Why? I want to start here, that's 360, and I want to go back to 270. So once we save this, refresh, you can see here that works. So if you might wonder, well, what will happen if we just do 270 by 360 with counterclockwise? If I save this, what will happen is it will go like this. There you are. And then you get I guess an eye shape or whatever it is. It looks slightly like an eye with a contact lens or something like on it. Anyway, very creative stuff. Well, no need for us. What we need to do here, just the opposite. Save this, refresh. This works. Now final line here, connection. All we have to do here is to say, of course, ctx.close the path. Save that, refresh, and there we are. So now we have this, and we could even do exactly the same with the next item. Or let's do it even more fun. Let's make these shapes like that. We can say here well, we can make a function. That's alright. I'll just leave it for the function for now. Just leave that for now. And then we're just going to put in here. And what we want to do here is, well, let me think what we have to do here. We can start here at 360, going to 90, and then of course here with that. Save that, refresh. Now we have another one, and then this could be maybe colored blue. Save that, refresh. There we are, and that will work nicely. You can see here it slightly covers us up on top, which is normal because it will be on top of each other. So we could maybe solve that with adjustment of maybe 1 or 2 pixels, but that's alright for now. We want to be pixel perfect for now. But this is basically the way to do this. However, I just realized if you really want to be more accurate, what we could do here is instead of 360, you can just say number 1, and here also number 1. Save that, refresh, there you are. So now it will be just one angle below, and that looks slightly more better. So we won't hit them at all.